Up in the high desert, some residents outraged with the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter following the release of a report looking into the shelter's operations.
Now, that report finding a nearly 54% euthanasia rate in 2024 and some staff shortages. News Channel 3's Luis Avila is holding officials accountable, has a closer look at what's being done to address public concern.
Hi there. Now, this all started with a couple of emails that came into our newsroom, so I decided to come down to see what was going on. And what I found, concerned residents who are fed up with how the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter is being run. So I spoke with some town officials, and they tell me while progress is being made, there's still lots of work to be done.
We're tired of it.
Susan Hearing is a volunteer rescue trapper, recovering pets that have wandered astray.
When a dog gets brought into the shelter, it's really important that there's communication with the owner so that they can be reunited with the owner promptly.
She says that's one of the things the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter is failing to do, causing uproar amongst the public for months.
Community picked up the pace in early January and have been coming to town council meetings ever since.
I went into the shelter to get some answers, but was directed to town hall, where I sat down with town manager Curtis Yakimo. He says the biggest problem facing the shelter is the number of animals being dropped off.
The real challenge, like all open admission shelters, is the number of unwanted animals that come into our door.
But residents like James Porter says the shelter isn't doing much to help those animals.
The shelter is just not following best practices that other shelters do. So there is no volunteer program here. There is no foster program. There's very little community outreach from this shelter.
I spoke with these residents earlier today, and their concerns were more, they're not seeing any willingness to change on the part of the shelter, and they say a lot of their practices are either outdated, or if you look online, there really aren't any updates in terms of animals that are being listed for adoption. And what do you have to say to those concerns and to those things that people have seen?
So with respect to treatment of animals, every case that the shelter staff deals with has its own set of factors. Is our data systems at the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter adequate? Absolutely not. We do everything manually on paper.
Curtis says the town council is listening to the public's concerns and making changes.
So this is placement on our town website, placement on Pet of the Week, for example, things like that that can help get the word out. We've implemented emergency hires already to supplement our staff, to be able to relieve some of our full-time staff, to begin to stand up some of these programs that we've identified that might help.
Until then, residents like Susan say they won't stop until they see actual improvements.
We're not backing down.
And there will be an update to the initial report that'll be released May 5th. For more information, visit our website, kesq.com. In Yucca Valley, Luis Avila, News Channel 3.